Well, good morning, folks. We woke up and we looked at our battery monitor and it was going crazy, 65 volts, 40 volts. We're running a 12 volt system out here and it's an RV. I do have high voltage panels. I just moved it. I have it on rollers, so I just moved it to face the sun. And my voltage on my shunt went crazy. So let's go take a look inside. And my wife was looking for sparks. So that's what happens with a Victron shunt. If it's connected to with that VE.Direct cable. That's what we found. So let's take a look at this right here. Here's what's going on. If you have Victron, you have your Bluetooth device. That's all we're using. And you notice the voltage is erratic on the shunt. It's going 31 volts, like it's a 12 volt system, 57, 28 volts, 57 volts, 36 volts. We step back here a bit, you can see more of the screen. We have the MPPT here. But that's what we're seeing. It's a 12 volt system. The MPPT is showing 13.29, which is normal. And we're making 210 watts there, 15 amps. And it shows amps are going into the battery, but the voltage is spiking all over the place. So my good wife did all the research, and she found some of the other people in the comments, I guess, under Victron support were saying that they unplugged that VE.Direct cable. So we're going to go take a look at this. We have it all set up under our bed. I have a light here, and the VE.Direct cable is right here. And this is your Victron Smart Solar Charge Controller, MPPT. And this little cable plugs into the shunt right here. So it just runs over here, and my shunt is right there. So the black cable's there and it just plugs into it. So it was working for a couple of months. All you have to do is, I don't know if you can see that, is unplug it. We go back. Just unplug it. We go back over to the. We have the other camera here, so we'll have some good video. We have the other camera here, so we'll have some good video. And it's stabilized. The shunt stabilized. So, folks, if you have a shunt problem like that, hopefully you have a good wife like I have that goes online and looks at all the blogs or vlogs or whatever, and we get some of this stuff rectified. But we're doing this video to help you guys out there so that you don't have the same problem. We phoned our dealer. Well, our dealer sold us the cable, and our dealer thought that you needed that cable to make it work properly. So there's a lot of misconceptions with this VE.Direct cable. We're going to talk about it a little bit more. Bye for now. This is a smart shunt, the Victron from Victron Energy, and if you go to their website, which a lot of us don't, I just went to the dealer and bought the smart shunt. And the dealer said you have to hook it in, you have to buy that cable. You see the black wire there? There's a VE.Direct cable that plugs in there. So I'm looking here, talks about this shunt, it's supposed to be the best thing ever. And, but wait a minute here. It says alternatively, the SmartShunt can be connected and read by a GX device connection to a SmartShunt made via the VE.Direct cable. So that's an alternative using that VE.Direct cable. If you read their literature online, and what they're saying is a SmartShunt's an all-in-one monitor without any display. And it says your phone acts as a display. And we're using a tablet, so you can only connect one. You can't have a tablet and a phone or other phones. You got to pick one. That's right in here too. It's in the instructions. So the SmartShunt connects via Bluetooth to the Victron app on your phone or tablet. And you can read the monitoring that, as you've seen in our video. So it's an alternative, and we were told by the dealer that to make it all work better, you needed to hook that in, that cable. So I think a lot of the dealers might not understand this completely, but it is right in the literature. It's an alternative thing. Or maybe our dealer thought that we had GX devices or something. I don't know, but I don't think so. Our dealer made us believe that we needed to connect it. And we drove home wondering, oh, what a gimmick, a $28 cable. Because that was a $28 cable when we bought it from our dealer. And now it's disconnected. So I did send my dealer a note to let them know. And I guess to all those dealers out there. Now, I just bought my charger's a little bigger. This is right off the Victron Energy site, but it's kind of the same specs. Mine's a 100, 150. Just like on the picture here, 150, 100. And doesn't say much, but it does say that, hey, you can hook that right up to your cell phone. And you can via Bluetooth. It works without the cable. You don't need that cable in because it's Bluetooth. So the cable is designed for down here when you want to start daisy chaining units. That's when you need the cable. And you go to a hardwire display. So the cable's designed for a hardwire, and some people don't like Bluetooth. So some people like the hardwire. So then if you're going to a hardwire display, you'll need the cable. But if you're just going to Bluetooth, you don't need any cable. You save yourselves $28. Remote monitoring and control, you need the cable. That's called the GX device. You can't get this on your computer or through the internet without that cable, and then a whole bunch of other devices. And if you want that smart controller display, like I say, some people do not want Bluetooth and things like that. Well, then guess what? You got to buy that cable. So for us, you don't need the cable. You're on Bluetooth. And the cable just causes issues, feedback loops and stuff. And that's what happened in our case. So let's go back and we'll take a look at some other stuff. Just a little bit more information for all you techie type people out there that want to kind of know all the nuts and bolts of this stuff. So the VE.Direct, which is that little cable plus Bluetooth, equals a hidden feedback loop, causes a data collision. What happens? You have Bluetooth enabled and you're monitoring both your MPPT and SmartShunt, right? Both devices are capable of reporting battery voltage to each other just through the Bluetooth. So now we put that cable in. We physically connected that VE.Direct cable between the MPPT and the SmartShunt. And now you've created two active communication channels, a wireless VE.Smart via Bluetooth and a wired VE.Direct. That's the terminology they use. So the result, these devices start sending overlapping or conflicting data, especially battery voltage readings. So it's trying to send two different, a hardwired loop and a Bluetooth loop. So Victron systems don't always prioritize one data source clearly unless you're using the GX device, like the Cerbo GX and it manages those connections. We looked at that, but they're a lot of money. So, and you don't need it with Bluetooth. So without a GX device, the MPPT and SmartShunt may fight over who provides the true battery voltage. And that fight shows up as erratic voltage readings, which we've seen in the video, jumpy MPPT behavior, and we've seen that over the last several months. We've had problems, folks, with this since we've bought that shunt and hooked this all up with that and then did our Bluetooth. And this is what we had: erratic voltage readings, jumpy MPPT behavior, incorrect charging decisions. It's like two pilots both grabbing the same control stick. The plane doesn't know which way to go. So, why it got better after removing that cable, we've seen it in the video. Once you pulled the VE.Direct cable, all communication switches to Bluetooth only via the VE.Smart, they call it. And the MPPT correctly started using the shunt's voltage. That ended the loop, and the voltage readings instantly stabilized. And you've seen it in the video. We had the two cameras set up. You could actually hear my voice on the other camera, but yeah, it was instant. And the important notes: this issue is well documented in Victron forums, but it's often misunderstood by dealers. So I want to talk about another issue I had here. Yesterday, I off my hitch, I kind of took the ground, the hitch, and I stuck it into the ground. I was thinking of putting a ground in, a ground plate. A lot of RVers are wondering, should I have a ground? So I think this kind of started it all, actually. Earth ground wire equals potential ground loop, low voltage drift, or noise injection. So what I did, I had a negative battery cable on my chassis. I buried it to a ground wire, an earth ground. And that's not wrong in principle. Many systems do it, but in a mobile or an off-grid DC system, it can create unpredictable results. So what it can cause, if the earth ground is a different electrical potential than your chassis ground, you can get a ground loop, a small unwanted current or voltage moving through that wire. And it may shift the voltage reference the smart shunt or the MPPT is using. And the Victron shunt may read that as a swing in system voltage, when in fact it just drifted. The drift was just caused by the difference in a ground potential. And this is especially problematic if you have AC equipment like your inverter or charger that leaks a bit of current to the earth. So why removing the earth wire didn't instantly fix it? Well, if the primary issue was the VE.Direct feedback, removing the earth ground wouldn't help much, but keeping the earth ground could have worsened the voltage spikes while the data loop was present. So here's our summary. We had both Bluetooth and the data cable connected between our Victron devices. That created a loop, like two friends yelling in the same direction at once, or our charge controller and our shunt started to argue over what the battery voltage actually was. And we've seen that. We've seen the charge controller was always showing a few points higher than the shunt. So to make it worse, we had that negative wire connected to the ground overnight, and this was just an overnight thing. And that might sound like a good idea, but if the ground outside is a different electrical potential than your battery ground, then you get what's called a ground loop, and it's like a backdoor for stray current or interference. So the moment we unplug that data cable and just use Bluetooth, everything cleared up. The voltage matched, the system stabilized. So folks, if you're using Victron gear off grid, skip the cable and don't force an earth ground unless you really need it. Maybe you're in a lightning area, I don't know. And you're afraid that your RV is going to get hit by lightning and you want a lightning rod. You can have a lightning rod without tying it to your camper as well. But you talk to your electrician in your local community. Don't take what I say verbatim. These are just suggestions and some of my own shared experiences that we're dealing with here. So we want to share that with you guys so you can save yourselves a service ticket or a lot of headaches. The Victron is now working exactly the way it should. It's working great. And guess what? You start saving money. You don't have to buy that little cable. It was 28 bucks cost us. And we bought the extra long one because, we didn't know how we were going to mount it and so on and so forth. But anyways, we'll see you guys on the next video and have a great solar day. Bye for now.
Check, check, check 1, check 2, check, check.